I'll let you know 5 minutes.
Okay, hi, I'm Sarah, I'm an addict.
Hi Sarah.
It's really nice to be here. It's really nice to see you, Ian. I haven't seen you for a long time. And also Sarah, you know, and a lot of faces I don't know in here. And yeah, it's just always nice to get to a meeting. I feel nervous, so I'm always mindful when I'm nervous. I speed up usually, you know, because one, I'm an addict, two, I'm ADHD, so I tend to go, so I'm really kind of like trying to stay in that, and I've kind of learned to pause, just stop, listen to my own thoughts. Sometimes I'm just like, and friends and people that are close to me can really pick that up quite quickly in me, and it's really nice to have that feedback when they say, whoa, Sarah, you really, and I'm like, and then part of me, I don't get offended, but I'm like, oh, I'm right out there, you know, come back, and it's like, this whole process of recovery is like that. It's almost like walking this way, no, I walk that way, walking through treacle, no, that, you know, it's so much of that, and, you know, the steps are in an order for a reason, and, yeah, we came to believe, because obviously you don't have that belief when you come in here, you know, you're just completely don't understand. Well, for me, I speak for myself, just don't understand why the drugs don't work anymore. They just don't work. And it's just that painful place of just being in that powerlessness and unmanageability and keep doing it and nothing changes, you know, that's the insanity. So when you kind of like work through step one and that powerlessness and admitting, you know, I don't think it will ever go from me if I sit here and genuinely, honestly recall the absolute inability using against my will and that pain. I'm there now. It's I can always feel that emotion, and I never want to go back there, ever. So, you know, for me, the disease of addiction is what I suffer with. And when I understood what was going on and the process of recovery, you know, it takes courage to get here. It takes courage to do the work. It takes courage to stick around. It's like, you know, but as you all know, you've all come to that rock bottom or had many rock bottoms, and everybody's experience is slightly different, but it all leads us to the same place. You know, you don't come in here with your life together, do you? You know, I mean, this is the last place I ever thought I'd be, and this is the last place I ever wanted to end up. I did, you know, I was like, what? How's this happened? And so going into step two, I felt like after step one, you know, it's like a bit like, I haven't had brain surgery, but I can imagine that's what it's like, a bit of brain surgery, like, you know, getting in there and, you know, being restored to sanity, because, yeah, I was just like a ping ball, you know, like pew, 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 just on so many levels of not just drugs, but, you know, relationships and love and denial and food and all these other things that I didn't have, you know, awareness around. And I just used to repeat so many endless patterns and loopholes, and all of them led me to, yeah, just like shame, really, shame. And then what do? I use, and I'm back to square one. So, yeah, step two, I found it quite, I won't say painful, because I think it's a healing pain in recovery, but you do feel it, you do. Like, and I just remember feeling like someone said to me, it would be my sponsor, it's like being a rabbit caught in the headlights. And that was the perfect description. I was like, that is exactly what I feel like in step two. Because there's this complete vacuum, there's this complete void, there's this complete not knowing. And, you know, yes, you've kind of done your step one, and now you're coming to believe in what? What are you talking about? Like, I didn't get it. You know, people say, oh, keep coming back, you'll get it. And in my head, I thought, you'll fucking get it in a minute, mate. You know, really, seriously. You know, but you don't, do you? Like, but, you know, and I just couldn't, you know, get it. What are you talking about? And this whole concept of a higher power, you know, when you've been running around like, you know, the almighty yourself, you know, just instant gratification on every single level. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, you know, no consequences, and people get hurt. So kind of growing up in recovery and taking responsibility, it just still makes me cringe a little bit for the amount of responsibility that I have in my life today. And I'm okay with it, you know. So yeah, being caught in a rabbit in the headlights and paralysed fear, like having that, like not knowing, because, you know, I'm going down a whole new path, aren't I? You know, as you all in recovery, you know, you're going into like a journey, you know, it's like an adventure. You have to kind of shift your perspective a little bit. You gotta get a little bit, I'm in an adventure here, you know, it's like taking an acid trip, but, you know, a good one, let's say. No, because it goes on and on and on like a fucking acid trip. You think, I've just got to that, and then it's like, oh, no, you haven't. Oh, no. You know, it's just dipped down there and popped his little head up, and it's like, oh, little dragon. It's like, you thought you've got it under... No, you won't get it under control because you have to keep surrendering, and it's like, oh, endless. But endless because eventually you wake up and you have that awareness. It's such a beautiful thing, as I said, the pause. You know, when you get on the tube, mind the gap. You know, I know what the gap is today. I've got that. It's in me. It's like, so being restored, I can. Of course, I react and sometimes I fly off the handle. You know, I'm not perfect, but I do have that pause and I can see, oh, that's my stuff. Do you see what I mean? And that's them. And I just have to let this settle, you know, before I go in all guns blazing and, you know. Because the thing is, when I was drinking and using, I would just annihilate, as I'm sure you're all aware of that kind of behaviour. And today I choose to act very differently towards myself and others, you know. So yeah, coming to believe, for me, you know, it makes me emotional really, because that's where I found my hope. It's like walking across a bridge, you know, because you haven't joined the dots yet and you don't know quite what it is for you, whether it might be a tree. I don't care. I don't mean that in a really nasty... Whatever you believe in, great, good for you. Because I believe in what I want to believe in. Yeah, you can't tell me. That's the great thing. It's just suggestions. You can't tell me. You could say, this is the guidance and this is what you need to do. But I have to find it for myself. So for me, I do call it God, just because not like I see it as a white, you know, someone up there religious. I'm not religious. Thank God it's not a religious program. It's not. But it is something that I think fundamentally that's what I was searching for all the time when I was at my nut. You know, I was searching for something and it was never enough. And, you know, sometimes, of course, I still feel less than sometimes, and I feel empty and I feel pain, you know, like my chest, I feel like I've got a bit of stuff going on actually right now, and I can feel it. It's like heavy on my chest. Why is it when we get stuff going, you forget to breathe? It's like, you know, breathe, you know, it's like that, you know, that is going on for me, and everything feels a little bit tight, and I feel like underneath everything I could have a little bit of a cry. You know, and how beautiful that I can just sit there and own that and say it and feel okay in a room of like other addicts. Because when I was out there using, I never found that kind of connection or that warmth or that love, you know. You know, we get what we need. Like Sarah gave me that hug and I felt, it was just what I needed. I just really needed a hug. And that's like really how it's been for me ever since I've come in the door. You know, people believed in me, and, you know, people believed in me until I could believe in myself. And I just thought, because I'm just a hopeless using addict. That's it, yeah? Doesn't matter what drugs you liked, it's the disease of addiction. It's where it takes us. So some people are like uppers, down, whatever floats your boat. But for me, I like the fact that I can wake up clean. I like going to bed clean. I like that I can face life without drugs. I mean, that is a win-win. You know, as we all know, for addicts that have to cover up constantly how we're feeling and wear that mask and just pretend, you know, that I don't have to put a substance in me to change the way I feel, just to cope. And yes, there's many other forms of, you know, what you can, you know, act out on, and behaviours. But fundamentally, you know, I think if I stay grounded in the fact that NA's changed my life, you know. It's changed my life. It's really has. And step 2, you know, working it with my sponsor and having that trust. My sponsor's 35 years clean. I absolutely love this woman, like love. And she 12-stepped me on, I ran the helpline, I was out of my nut, I was in psychosis, completely off my tits. And she 12-stepped me, and I actually rang the Samaritans before that because I thought, I just wanted to kill myself, is the truth. And, you know, and she went, do you think you've got a drug problem? In my head, I'm not joking, I've been up for like 4 days. I was buckled, I had not one bit of saliva. I couldn't talk, I was like literally like this, right? I like really feeling sorry for myself, in fucking bits, you know, that agony. And she went, do you think you've got a drug problem? And I was like that, right, spang-dangled, and couldn't move. Like I was playing, it's like playing musical statues, isn't it? Because you can't move. You have to wait for a bit of say, oh yeah, light the cigarette, oh fuck it, have a drink, what? Oh, it's just a mess. And I was like that, like literally. She went, do you think you've got a drug problem? And in my head, I went, you cheeky bitch. Like this. I was like, that's the insanity right there. That is the insanity. So we laugh about it, you know, and she 12-stepped me and met me at a meeting, and yeah, I liked her. I thought she was on Valium, is the truth. Like, she's so spiritual. I thought, what is she on? I like her. I'll have a bit of, you know what I mean? She had odd boots on that she didn't know she had an odd boot on, but she put 2 boots. I remember looking, thinking, like, you know, but it wasn't none of the outside stuff, right? She was funny. She was quirky. She knew what she was talking about. She was like, oh, there's a hole in the donut. And I was like, and she was like, you just keep trying to fill the donut. I'm like, okay. So we took numbers and, you know, and yeah. But the love that I've got for her, because, you know, she was there for me when there was nobody else there, and you know, and doing service. You know, we've got the literature, we've got, you know, service keeps you clean. I've got a home group. It's Soho, 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. If you're ever up there, guys, do pop in. You know, meetings, step work. Step work is very, very important. I mean, I've been through the green and gold 3 times. I'm 16 years clean. And I'm now, thank you, and I'm now, like, you know, back on a step 4. It's a step 4 more about recovery, you know, it's more like what's gone down in my recovery, but it's like, you know, I would say to my sponsees, and they go, oh, you're this, you're that, and I'm like, yeah, because I've done all this work, I've put a lot of time in, I've surrendered. I don't want to use drugs. The obsession to use has been lifted, which is being restored to sanity, right? Because I don't want to use. I have no desire to use whatsoever. However, that doesn't make me immune. I still come to meetings because I'm an addict, and it's what goes on between my ears. It's this, yeah? And then I start listening to it, you know, because I can make up a whole scenario, and then got the questions going on. Then I'm answering them myself, right? So this is all going on. Then I ring my sponsor. She goes, oh, because she knows my stuff. She can see me coming because she knows me. And that's the beautiful thing about having a sponsor. Is like, you know, find someone who's loving and caring, who's got the time, who's got the energy for you. However, you know, you don't know where that's going to go. So that, again, is this like massive leap of faith of what we do in recovery, is asking someone to sponsor us. And I did actually think, well, if she says, no, that's it, I'm never coming back, you know. But she didn't, and I did, and, you know. So, yeah, being restored to sanity is... And the thing is, step 1, 2 and 3, you know, I work them daily. I work them daily. I don't get up. All right, I don't necessarily, when I came in and when I was using, I was on my knees, like, please, to help me. That's that, you know, help me. What happens next? I don't know. A series of coincidences, serendipities, whatever you want to call them, because I was out of it anyway. You know, I've ended up in an NA meeting. Call that what you like, but that is definitely a power greater than myself. So I'm like, okay, you know, and then it's like all them other little coincidences. And, you know, there's some beautiful slogans and sayings and coincidences I heard is God's way of staying anonymous. And I was like, oh, yeah, I like that. Because if you just give things enough time and you sit with them and you work through your feelings and you don't use on your feelings, like, and you try something new, which is finding a new way to live, yeah? That's what we do here. Like, you can't buy that feeling in a packet of gear. You can't buy it. You can't, because it's freedom. And that's what came here, was for, active addiction, freedom from active addiction. When the obsession to use was lifted, right, if you'd have said to me, that's all you're going to get, I would have gone, thank you, I'll take that. I will take that. Just not to be plagued, like, with a constant obsession to use something is, it's been lifted. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Like, how does that happen? Because I've now got a higher power. So that higher power is what, I'm connected to. And people let me down, and I'm not perfect. I probably let people down. I don't go out of my way to be maliciously nasty to people. I work a program, and, ultimately, not everybody's going to like everybody. Thank you. But I always say hello, give people a hug. You'll find your tribe in recovery. You find your people. Yeah. So yeah, kind of that walking across the bridge is and you're kind of connecting with something that's you can't see, but you can feel it. That's how it's like, I used to love the Ready Brek Glow advert, when you was a kid and you eat the Ready Brek and you get the Ready Brek Glow, because it's an inside stuff. People see you look really well, and but it's not just about because you can feel it, you know what I mean? Like, I could feel it. And when I was first in the rooms, and, it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I've really craved that validation, and I needed so much on so many levels. And now it's in the pot, you know what I mean? I've got the recipe, it's in I can give it to myself. And where does that come from? Directly from my higher power. And that is, for me, yes, I've got the program. Yes, I work the steps. Yes, I've got sponsees. Yes, I do service. Yes, I do all of this. But the biggest thing for me, when I'm on my own and I have to go through stuff, and I've been in the fetal position, in recovery, clean, in pain, what am I reaching out to? It's that connection to my higher power that I'm just like, help me, come on, give me a squeeze here, give me some, just like, let me get through this, whatever that might look like. And it is, and it does, and it works. And half the stuff that I may have been worrying about last week or the week before, there's nothing to worry about right now. Do you see what I mean? It's like most of the stuff that we just go over and over and over with, the insanity of what I'm talking about step 2. Once I turn it over to step 3 and I ask, because you've got to ask, because step 3 is an action step. So 1, 2 and 3 work together. So it might be I'm powerless over whatever. I might have had a row with someone. Yeah, I'm powerless. Then I'm going to be restored to sanity, rather than, because I'm going to outreach it to my sponsor. I'm going to check out stuff. I need to do me, let them do them, and what do I get in the middle? I get the higher power. So once I've got all that, and then I'm like, okay, sometimes the best thing and the most loving thing you can do is do nothing. And I don't mean don't take accountability and don't be responsible. I mean, because it's your ego, isn't it? You want to get in there, you want to fix it, you want to do it. It's like, fucking whatever it is. We all know what it looks like. But it hurts. That's more to what it feels like. It hurts, And, but when you kind of like just go, I don't know all the answers. I don't, and ask for a loving higher power to come in between whatever that may be, a person, a job, or whatever. And then I just can sit back and I can just let things land and not do anything. And that is not easy, because I've had to learn how to do that by literally sitting on, like, not white knuckling it, even though I have at times, meaning I'm just gonna sit, because Sarah, she will mess it. I've got history. We've all got, I know where my go-to traumas are and where and I don't want to be like that. Do you see what I mean? And yes, I can go into that little hurt girl mode. Yeah, I can, and it's quite painful. But as I said, the beautiful thing about recovery and program and working the steps, when they go, it works if you work it, right?
Well, it does. It's funny that when they're all saying it and you're like saying it and you're like, but then you feel it and you're like, oh, okay, it does work, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, for me, I do have a higher power. It's just a loving energy. It's something that, you know, I can rely on, I can lean into. And that, for me, I think is a beautiful gift of recovery, is being able to lean in to something that I can't visibly see, but I know that it's got my back. And it's like the more I pray and the more I'm connected, I get little messages anyway, little things. I'm connected. I have a little prayer, I have a little bit of meditation, listen to a bit of music, and then I get a little message. I'm like, oh, there you go. So, you know, and that's the beauty of this programme. Yeah, so I had a little ding-dong last night. It wasn't nothing deep, but it affected me. And I didn't sleep great. And, you know, I wanted to kind of get on the phone, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to just sit and binge a little whatever. You know, I'm watching something on Netflix, and I've had a bath and self-care, a bit of self-love. And I was all right. You know, I was cosy in my bed. It was nice and warm. I got everything what I needed. But I didn't get in there trying to damage other people or say, oh, let me tell you about yourself. You know, which I would have done before. I'm like, you know, let them have a bit of space. I'll have a little space. And usually things, if people are working a programme, it'll kind of come back, because that's the beautiful thing, isn't it? It's like everything's all nice when it's all okay. But when shit hits the fan, that's when the programme, yeah? That's, oh, thank God I've got a programme. Because that's when you have to work it, you know? You know, when you're content and happy and you're like... But life can throw a curveball, and I've had lots of curveballs in recovery. And I guess for me, the willingness is the willingness to keep applying myself, because it is progressive. It is progressive. It's an illness. It is progressive. Just because I'm, got clean time doesn't make me immune to kind of like getting myself into a little corner. You know, and the thing is, I was kind of just speaking to Ian before about losing people in recovery, and my head doesn't go, oh, I'll pick up. My head goes, top yourself. Do you see what I mean? That's where my head goes. That's the difference. And I have to weigh that up, in with somebody that cares about me, and that's my sponsor, and she's given me everything I need, and I pass that on to women, and she's one of those, or wrap it up here, she's one of those that when you share something with her, it stays with her. And I've been taught that. It's very, very, even I've got a lot of friends in recovery, lots of different friends, and all my whole life really, it's beautiful people in recovery. And it's about keeping that counsel. It's about having that, and I hold that integrity, because if someone comes to me and they share their stuff with me, it's very, very personal. It's very, very deep. And that's why I feel like when you get a sponsor, you should have somebody that teaches you, encompasses that as a moral high ground. We're not playing about with this is people's lives. You know what I mean? And, and she's got that. And I find it so attractive. And it's something that she's instilled with me. And people say to me, Sarah, I trust you. I trust you with my life. That's what women say to me. And I think, I know what that feels like, because I trust my sponsor and other women and I've got some good male friends in recovery as well, which is always good to have a couple. I mean, they're gay, but, that doesn't make no difference. I do love the gays. Anyway, it's really, really lovely to be here. As I said, I told you I'd waffle on. Thank you for asking me, Ian. And, I hope someone got something. And if you didn't, there's always loads of meetings. I'll leave it there.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.